Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, everybody's been asking me, what is the real difference between a Wilson Blade Pro versus a regular Wilson Blade? Stay tuned. All right, guys, good morning to everybody out there. Hot roast of the day, hot dark roast of the day, from Scott Duncan. Scott writes, I love your stuff. You've been an ambassador of happiness and source of multi-decade knowledge throughout COVID. Turn up the thermostat, Monica. Yeah, baby. Keep it up, man. All right, Scott, I appreciate you. Thanks for the hot roast, for keeping my body warm. I like it kind of cold, though, but it's all good. If you want to support my hot roast, dark roast coffee habit, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. Link is below. Thank you guys in advance, and thank you everyone for keeping it going. All right, so let me hit the Sumatra real quick. All right, guys. So many people have come up to me because I cannot sell the Blade Pro. It is a Wilson exclusive. So it's basically Wilson sells to you guys directly and have been extremely successful doing it. They've sold out numerous times. I've had to buy them on my own at full price. I don't get a deal, just like you guys. I pay full price and tax for this racket. So all the testers you see that I hit with, right, they're paid for. They're bought from Wilson. I don't get any kind of breaks. There's no retail discounts. I am a consumer just like everybody else out there. Now, but I do have the regular ones though, the regular 98s. And people have always asked me, what is the difference? Why is this one, the Pro, so special compared to the regular one that you can buy off our shelves? Well, there is a difference, and there is more of a playing difference than anything else. Before I go into the nitty gritty here, let's take a look at the numbers that we can actually compare first. If you look at the Pro, right, the weight is essentially identical. The balance, almost identical. Swing weight, we got a little bit more on that Pro. Stiffness, real close. The beam, though, if we look at the beam, it's a little thicker, actually, 21.46 millimeters versus a standard version 8, 1619 that you can get from the store, which is 20.6. So the Pro's actually thicker, but it's a softer frame. That's interesting, huh? But you get more plow from the swing weight. A hair more balance. But this is the big number right here. This is the big number to look at. So you get more plow, but you get more supposedly stiffness because it's thicker. But if you've ever played with the Pro, you kind of know what I'm talking about when I say it's a different animal. It goes through smoother. When it strikes the ball, there's like a cleaner feel, almost a stiffer feel, to tell you the truth. And that might be that 1 millimeter being a little firmer and a little more stable. Now, when you strike with the regular one, you know that the head's going to go through. You know that it's going to flex a certain way. It's pretty comfortable, especially in this new version 8. where they actually added more feel, into the handles here. Now, remember I talked about paint? Like these have a gloss paint to it, right? My initial thought was the gloss paint was to accentuate the colors on television. When the pros swing this one around, the gloss paint actually shows better on TV so that you can see it better in your living room versus the matte finish that is harder and doesn't shine as well through your, HD 4K television set. This looks a lot better through there. But there's also a feel difference. When you have gloss like this, there is more feel that comes through the racket into your hand so that you can essentially feel the ball, know exactly where you're hitting on the string bed. And that's pretty important to players out there. Now, when I was stringing at tournaments, I've had this racket, which was like a pro stock, they call it an H22, come through. And I've seen it in many versions of rackets, whether it be Burns, Ultras, Pro Staffs. I mean, you name it. Like, I've seen this actual frame in many, many different colors. The ticker is, when I string this, I know I'm stringing this. When I string this, it's a different animal to me. I remember when I first strung this racket and it was in a blade version that I was like, that's an actual easy racket to string. I'm going to actually show you this real quick. Like, look at the difference in the string patterns here. Look at the bottom cross. How in the V8 1619, it's higher. And look at all that space. In the Pro model, look at how separated this is. And look at the top. Look at the top. Like, it covers a lot of the frame. The strings are more separated, accentuating spin, giving you a little bit more power, making it easy for the strings to snap. Oh, pros want that, don't they? You want that. I know I want that. So, but like, that is the telltale sign that you have an H22 or a Blade Pro, that open string bed. I remember when I was stringing like 4 of these for one player, that I was like, that's not hard at all. That was actually an easy string to string, or a racket to string. That was an easy racket to string. And I'm like, I'll do that all day long. And of course, a good 20% of them, of the players, had this racket. So I'm like, hey, I'm all over that. It's an easy racket to string, right? And I'm sure it shows in the playing. Now, both of these, I mean, I feel like a lot of people use this in a stock form. I would say more than half the people use it in the stock form. I would say 60-70% of the people who use this, if not more, customize this in some way, shape, or form. Most of the time, it's, putting lead in the hoop, which is like 10 and 2. Actually, it's mostly 10 and 2. 10, 2. They usually mess with it in this quadrant, in the upper head quadrant, because they need a little more plow in the racket. I'm sure they do something on the handle to counterbalance that too. But this is a customizable racket and probably needs to be customized by most pros. So I figured out, the main difference of why this plays better is that it's 1 millimeter thicker, guys, 1 millimeter thicker, gloss paint, open string bed on the regular 1619, right? Main difference, night and day, night and day. That's why pros prefer this racket. So it's a feel thing. With all these put together, it gives you great feel. It gives you great predictability. You know what you're going to get from the Blade Pro. And that's why I feel like it's better. All right. Hopefully I answered all the questions about the differences. If you've tried this, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Oh!
Great job, Aaron.
I got you, Rob, buddy. Look, I got you, Rob. Oh, hey. I got you, Rob. I got you, Rob. Thank you for the weekly lesson, dude.
Aaron, back toe. Again.
Oh, I got you, Rob. I got you, Rob. I got you, Rob. Now, if you want a patient pro, just like Coach Rob, hey, Play Your Court is the place. Your pro can come to you, right? They can come out to your site. All you need to do is go to playyourcourt.com. You can even get a discount there. playyourcourt.com/tennis spin.
Harry, are you sure you're right-handed?